Ooh, that was a little crazy. Come on, big fella. Come on. First one. Ooh. Put a hole in you. We are both very angry people. Dodge out of the way, thanks. Come on. You're dead now, sir. Sorry. That's what I thought, just before you were about to use Chaos. Oh! Nice.
Central is given clearance to isolate and detach Station 19. Control is to be transferred to the next station.
Agent Darwin, you are hereby discharged. The contact. Lieutenant thanks you for your service.
I'm sure it does.
Central a message of resignation. You'll never cast off your shadows. As long as you continue to flush your donkeys in accordingly. So I'll gather my strength. Use that ring to return someday. Mark my words. I'll be back to wipe all of you from existence. I'll burn your precious Lufenia to the ground.
I was gonna say, I was like, put on the armor, Jack. Put it on. What? Why am I walking so slowly?
This was all sorry, Jack. There's never mercy to forget. All right. And I should have listened. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. Sophia, this is how we do it. Bastards use it as their plaything. Those of you who love Korea, never give up hope. The warriors of light will come one day.
Four fiends.
Welcome home.
They became the four fiends.
Don't you think it's a little dark in here?
We're storing it all here for now. It's still about 2,000 years before the reign of our friend, the king.
We wove the threads of darkness to pull you back through time.
Ruthenia's tentacles can't reach us here.
You're in it. I've got a fun plan.
You tell.
We'll train the warriors of light ourselves.
Interesting.
How?
Warriors of light will be born in Cornelia. Just like you were begun.
Of course. The Cornelius family. Makes sense they'd be from there.
Despair. Fenrir won't dictate these terms to anyone.
So are we going now?
I've been wondering, when did you all start scheming to turn me into chaos?
He's thriving.
Glad it ain't good. Only Jack can fight like that.
Glad to see he's back. Took long enough.
What?
My memories are fragmented, incomplete. But then we started putting all the pieces together.
It was touch and go there for a while. We've never figured it out without those hints Astos gave us.
No, there were some unfair sacrifices.
And you pulled it off. Kudos to the brilliant mastermind behind it all.
Mastermind. Astos. I want you to be my accomplice. Your help. You may be able to change things next time.
Be safe, Jack. May the crystal's blessing be with you, always.
Sarah, I want you to have this.
This is very special to you. You never even let me touch it.
Flynn gave me some advice once. He said, you've got to be crazy if you want to change the world.
So that's why there were 5. Because they became the villains.
What happens next?
It's not about
Titans and the Warriors of Light.
And the Warriors of Light will come.
And that's the exact start of Final Fantasy 1.
No.
He kidnaps her.
Yeah.
So this has all been a prequel. I like the fact that the good guys turn to bad guys, though. But they're technically still the good guys because they're trying to save this world from people who suck. Ah, there it is. Can I have a gaming chair like that?
No.
No, why not?
If I can have armor like that, you can have the chair.
He's got earrings on his helmet.
Yup.
The Warrior of Light. That's fucking awesome. I like that.
That was good.
I totally did not know where that was going. I thought it was just a retelling, but it's a fucking prequel. Very, very, very much so, because that's a very... I like the way that they did that, because like I'm already all the way into 7 right now, where I'm running through all 15 Final Fantasies. And at first, before this came out, when I was waiting for it, I thought it was like a retelling of 1. Theme song by Frank Sinatra.
You can tell it's Frank Sinatra.
But like I thought it was a retelling or like a rehash of Final Fantasy 1. But it's fucking... it's a prequel. And, like, the way they set it up, where the good guys end up being the bad... Christopher Sabat is fucking chaos. That is sick. Vegeta is chaos. This just it just keeps getting better. But, like, they set it up so that the good guys end up becoming the bad guys to train the good guys so people can't come in and fuck shit up. You know, like that saying goes, you either live long enough to see yourself become, you live long enough to die the hero, or no, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And this is the opposite side of that. Like, almost all the games that come out are, you're a good guy, you're fighting for a good cause, you end up, you know, going through, you beat the game, you're the hero. This is the exact fucking opposite. You're going through, "Tis a villain." Well, that's, I feel like there should be more games where you end up being the villain. I realize there's a lot of, like, games out there where you can kind of, like, skim the line when you're making choices in a lot of these open world games where you're like, I'm not really a bad guy, but I'm not a good guy. You're kind of making those, like, iffy decisions where it just benefits you and that's what you're trying to go with. But, like, this one at the end of it is just like, yeah, no, like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna take over, I'm gonna become, you know, chaos and reign supreme, and I'm gonna train these people that come later on, because now it's like 2,000 years before they first got there. So, like, you know, his love is alive, and he's, you know, gonna do what he said, he's gonna whisk her away to his castle, kind of thing. Like, it's definitely, like, it's a very, very good... Tecmo was part of that too? Wow. Yeah, like, it's a very, very cool way of doing that. Like, I definitely did not see that coming whatsoever. And this is why I don't look for spoilers for games at all anymore, or, like... Yeah, Exactly. Like, I feel like that's how most people react. Like, you know, they keep wiping your memory, and eventually you find out that's what's going on, and you made this plan where you're like, no, like, this sucks. We keep sending all of our darkness into this world that we used to be connected to, and fucking reset everything when things go too bad. And you're like, well, I fell in love with this person that lives here, and you just keep fucking shit over and erasing my memories. So, you know, it's time to set things right and say, fuck you, let's leave things the way they are. You can't just, you know, keep, you know, changing things when you don't like how they're going. Leave people live their lives. So this is, like, the way this, like, sets up Final Fantasy 1 is just, like, it's perfect. And, like, the fact that they showed them come up at the end, because when you start Final Fantasy 1, you just get to pick who you are as your classes, like, that they have there. But, like, when they came out with the Final Fantasy fighting game, I can't remember the fucking name of it right now, but they made the Warrior of Light, and he's got those big fucking horns. He comes in this fancy fucking suit of armor, and that was him right there. At, like, the end of the game when Chaos is sitting there in his fucking badass armor, and that was, you know, the Warrior of Light that showed up along with the other three. So, like, that really, really excited me.
You got all the goosebumps, don't you, dear?
I do. Like, I'm not really a big fan of how they're, like, changing their combat styles and stuff with the newer games. But, like, and, like, the story was kind of, like, wishy-washy at the start of it, just because of the way you kind of have to go in with where the fighting is and stuff. There's not as many, I guess, cutscenes you can throw in there, or a lot of dialogue as you're going through, and there's no real towns. But, like, the way they kind of tied it all in with, like, the odd cutscene, like, it still told, like, a really good story, especially that bit at the end, because that makes me, like, kind of rethink how Final Fantasy 1's story is, and it makes more sense of, you know, these different flying machines that are there, and these different, like, I guess, like, technologies that exist.
Oh yeah, once he's on to something and he's happy and excited, you want to see him go. I'm surprised he's not vibrating yet.
But no, like, it's really, really good. Oh, I can skip. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother skipping this, because, like, you know, all this is nuts, and these credits are probably gonna go on for quite a while. But yet, but, like, it's book editing division. There's a book. I'd read that. But, like, it kind of flushes out the whole world, because, like, Final Fantasy 1, there's a lot of, like, you have to talk to a lot of people in the game to get a lot of what's going on. And this, like, flushes out so much more, because even in Final Fantasy 1, they mentioned the fiends, the four fiends, like, not Jack, but, like, the four other people that turn into, like, Tiamat, and, like, the ocean person, like, the ocean bad guy and stuff, like, that they came, like, 2,000 years ago kind of thing. Like, they used to be there, and then they came back. And, like, it mentions, like, a lot of that stuff. And now everything is so much more flushed out. And I'm actually surprised when this game came out that I didn't see a lot of spoilers, especially where TikTok is a thing right now. I seen a guy going through, and I realize the game isn't, you know, crazy, crazy old right now. It's really only a couple months old. But, like, I seen a guy playing it on TikTok, and, like, I jumped in, he was a little bit behind me, but, like, there wasn't a lot of spoilers out there. And, like, I'm kind of glad for that there wasn't, like, a ton of spoilers or anything like that, because, you know, it didn't ruin this big, like, oh my god moment. Because the second I found out that his last, like, because they mentioned Garland earlier in the game, I'm like, the name sounds familiar. Did you have to make a new account? Because I remembered Rugrat T. I'm sorry you had to make a new account. That sucks. But I do recognize the names. So it kind of hit me when you hit the follow. So it's kind of like, oh, that seems really, really familiar. I usually tend to remember people whether they've like when they've been in, like even if it's just the follow. What happened? Why'd you have to start fresh? I'm trying. Still hard at her. But no, like it's great to see the way that they added everything in, and like they mentioned Garland first, the princess was like, oh yeah, like I used to know this person named Garland, had a really fancy set of armor, number, email. Oh, he got locked out. That sucks. I've done that to a few different games before and had to restart. But then the second it goes to the flashback, and he's like, yes, my name is Jack. And then she's like, no, tell me your last name. And he goes, Garland. It's like, oh, shit. Something's going on. But, like, the fact that it all ties into Final Fantasy 1, like, perfectly is fucking beautiful. And, like, obviously, they could do something with it, but, like, I really hope they don't, because everything is the way it should be right now. But I feel like if they did more of this with other games... No, I'm not. I am not. Not a thing.
You're being so cute and adorable, dear.
But, like, I feel like there's, like, a lot of Final Fantasies that deserve a prequel or a sequel, depending on, like, how they do it. Like, I know they did 13, 13-2, 13-3. They didn't go over as well, because I don't really feel like they're as sequel-y.
Well, 10 got 10 and 10-2.
10-2 was, like, a decent sequel story-wise, but, like, there was a lot of stuff in the game that was very not well received, and kind of how they went about telling the story, because, like, they tied it into the, you know, where he came from and stuff like that, but it wasn't done as well as they could have. 4 number 2 was, like, an interesting sequel. They did it kind of well. It wasn't too bad. But, like, 7 did a prequel that was really, really good. About a gameplay recording. Let's see what's going to happen now. End of story sequence. Disney?
I was gonna say.
That was like a Disney castle right there. Oot and a boot.
We don't go oot and a boot, we're out and about.
Well, what's going on? Or is this just like the opening sequence again? Oh, that's fun.
That's precious.
I'm pretty sure this is just... I think this is the opening. This vaguely looks familiar to me. Fucking Garland walking through like a badass. That explains those fucking crystals, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kidnapped the princess. But I think this is the opening sequence, because this is
The
looking
opening
good.
sequence for 1?
No, just for the game in general. I mean, he's like, yeah, you guys ain't shit. Yeah, because now they're fucking just shatter. Oh, that was it. Oh, that's fun.
Ooh, like his own.
Nice. But like 7 could use like a... Well, no, 7 has its prequel, but I think they should bring it to console. Crisis Core was really, really good. Like even the way they made it more like active combat, I really enjoyed that. I think 8 could use a prequel because they ended it off really well, but 8 could use a prequel with like Sid and stuff like that, and Edea being like kind of the main focal point for it. 9, I think 9 could probably use a sequel as well, or not sequel, prequel. I meant prequel for 8. 9 could probably use a prequel and show how like that main villain gets all fucking crazy and goes the way they go. Like, or even do like a prequel. Oh no, that kind of explains Sephiroth's kind of, you know, snap. Try to think of more of them that could use like prequels or sequels. 10 could use a prequel, really.
Yeah.
And you know how his Titus's dad gets into everything. like, there's just so many of them that they could add on to.
That would make a wicked movie.
What? Oh, absolutely. Most of these games, well, like, I knew it. His name is Garland. Lionheart Sword. Ooh, that's nice and fancy. Job Affinity, Dark Knight. Chaos Dip. Oh, yeah, that's all I fucking need. What? Wield the power. A Chaos. Oh, okay. Can hold R2 to access the Souls of Chaos ability. Reduce your MP. Yeah, that's fine. Then I'll fucking... What's that? Side mission. Main mission complete. Okay. So then I can just kind of... I got all these side missions to do later on.